Chad, I hope you were sitting in anticipation of our next run because it is my pleasure to introduce you to tpspeed, who will be running Fable, and I'll let them talk about the game and the category, and we'll get started. Welcome in, TP.
Hi, thanks for having me. Hi, I'm TP. You might remember me from the most recent Fall Fest where I ran Inscription, and now for a very different game. This is Fable. Specifically, this is the original Fable. If you've seen a speedrun of this game, chances are high you saw the Lost Chapters version. But this is the original version on the original Xbox, and I'll go into some of the differences there. And just a quick heads up before we get started, I'm playing this on the 360, so there's a very real possibility of a handful of things happening. One, the game might crash, because Xbox 360 emulation is great. Two, there's going to be audio tears. It's not your stream, everything is fine. Three, the game is going to stutter. Again, it's not your stream, everything is fine, so don't panic. And with that, we're going to get started as soon as I clear this text box. So in 3, 2, 1, go. So, this is the original Fable. It was released in, I believe, 2001, 2002, somewhere around there, for the original Xbox, and it was a console exclusive for quite a while. Now, most people that run Fable or anything like that run the Lost Chapters on PC, which is a more stable build of the game, and the run is also very different. But we start out as a child, and the whole point of this game, because kind of novel for the time, Fable was not the first game to do it, but one of the first games to really put an emphasis on, oh, we have a morality system. You can be good or bad. You can be the angel or devil on their shoulder. In this childhood section, they introduced this to you by having you do good deeds or bad deeds to get money to buy a present for your sister. And what we did was we just beat up a bully, got back a stuffed toy, and returned the stuffed toy to the girl. And beating up the bully and returning the stuffed toy are two good deeds, which makes our dad gives us 2 gold coins. Whoops. And then we went and found a man having an affair on somebody, with someone that is not his wife, and we took a bribe from him to stay quiet. And that's how we got 3 gold to buy chocolates for our sister. And now we're coming into the end of the childhood section. You're gonna notice I'm rolling around a lot. Rolling is pretty much the fastest form of movement we have in this game right now. There is going to be a slightly faster form of movement we get in a second, but I'll just save it for when we get there. But in terms of plot, what just happened, we gave our sister her chocolates for her birthday. She says she had like a dream about fire, and now the entire town is on fire. Oakvale is on fire. We're having a bad time. It's not great. And also now our dad is dead.
You'll watch out for your sister.
Yeah. Well, I got bad news. She's gone too. She got kidnapped.
All right, scratch that.
Yeah, exactly. Don't worry, she comes back later. So now we're taken to the Heroes Guild, and this is Whisper. Really quick, we're gonna punch Whisper 3 times. That's going to come up in about, because our character is what, like 11 right now? That's gonna come up 5 years later. Don't worry about it. It'll make sense in a bit. So I actually mashed too fast for the cutscene to happen. Normally what happens is, in the plot, you get picked up from your village by this dude named Maze, who's definitely not a bad guy. 100% not a bad guy. Would never betray you in a million years. Don't even think of it. And, he picked us up, takes us back to the Heroes Guild, and now the guild is training us to be a hero. And we're gonna do that by learning how to fight, how to fart, and a myriad of other things. We're gonna figure out melee combat, ranged combat, everything like that. We're starting with melee combat in the childhood segment, and then after this, we're going to end the childhood segment. Is the family dog okay? Well, I have good news. There was no animal. No animals were harmed in the making of this video game. So now we're coming up onto one of the more annoying segments of the child segment of the run. These beetles. You want to try to line them up so that you're hitting multiple of them in one swing, but they like to move around, and the lock-on for this game is very finicky, and sometimes your character will just take a very wide swing. This was... oh, whatever. Beetles, that's fine.
Well done, lad. The beetles are all dead.
And now we're going to head out of here. The disembodied voice is the guildmaster. Get very used to hearing him, because as soon as we get magic, you're going to hear him pretty much throughout the rest of the game. Important note, by the way, I'm playing this on English because I only have the English version. It's actually faster to play this in French by about 30 seconds or so? Like 30 to 40 seconds. Because of a segment that happens later on, and it's literally just one 3-minute segment way later. But for now, we're going to do some more tutorials where we're going to do like a melee test. They're going to teach us ranged combat, and they're going to teach us magic. As you can see, we have the magic bar underneath our health, and I'll explain some more of those mechanics when we get there. But for now, this part's just pretty self-explanatory. We get a sword, we gotta hit Whisper a handful of times, and then they're gonna teach us how to block. Whisper, please stop backing up. I am begging you.
Is that the best you've got?
There we go.
Now pay attention.
And fun note about this segment of the training, Whisper actually jumps back so far that she can't hit you, so you have to roll into her for her to be able to hit you again. And now for the actual training. We're just gonna walk up to her. Okay, we got bad RNG. We're gonna hit her 4 times. She's gonna dodge again. There we go.
That's all wrong, Whisper.
And now,
Then meet me by
the game's gonna start here. I'm rolling, and I'm gonna mash A to get into
Let's
the
continue our train.
ranged combat. And now, you remember when I told you that beating up Whisper was gonna come up in about 5 years or so? Now is that time. So now they want us to do a test to show our mastery with the bow, but if I can line this up properly. There we go. We're gonna shoot the guildmaster, and now the test is over. We did it. We passed. Good job, gang. We did it.
Next, we will learn
It's a secret objective.
Exactly. And I hope you weren't tired of seeing that, because you're gonna see it one more time. We're gonna use Will for the first time. We start with one spell, which is Lightning. We're gonna shoot this to initiate the test, and now, I hope you're ready. 1, 2, 3, 4.
What do you think you're doing?
Something that I love about skipping the cutscenes, by the way, is the characters' mouths will just hang open for whatever reason whenever you see them. And now we skip ahead one more year. And we're going to do our final, mastery test. And this is going to be where the first glitch of the run comes in. Which is... I don't know what else to call it. I just kind of call it the maze glitch. Here's maze. So for this test, he wants you to hit him with your sword 7 times, shoot him with your bow 7 times, and then zap him with your lightning 7 times. The lightning is where the glitch is going to come into play. So we're going to do all of this normally. He's going to teleport around. Normally what happens is every time you hit him, he has a chance to teleport all around. You got to find him. It's a whole chore. But from here, if we don't move and stay right where we are, he will teleport twice. And now we can zap him without him reacting or teleporting at all. If this controller... There we go. Doesn't want to be finicky. And there we go. I see everybody's already having a fun time with this rolling animation. It gets even better if you look at your main character's hair. because it's like rubber, and for whatever reason, it just kind of flops all over the place every time you roll. And with that, we have officially finished the tutorial. We're going to get our first level up, and we're going to get our main form of movement in the run, which is the Assassin's Rush spell. And that's going to be a very, very important spell throughout the game. We roll into here.
First, you must
Will, physical spells, Assassin's
Now
Rush,
choose no
back
treasure.
out.
There is little else
So,
to teach you.
one of the core mechanics
But I will
of
be
Fable
around to
that
offer you
I've held off on talking about until now is there are 4 different kinds of experience to gain in Fable. There is the general experience, which are the little green orbs you might see whenever I kill an enemy. There is Will, which is your magic. You gain experience for it every time you use a spell. Skill, which is in regards to your bow as well as talking to people, because talking is a real life skill. Have you seen people? They're very scary. And strength, which is you build that up by hitting things. There's also the experience of having fun. This is correct, Shasta. And experience is going to become very important, especially later on. I'll explain the combo multiplier when we get to where it is important. This is the Wasp Menace quest. We're going to zap these first 2 wasps here, draw our sword, and take out these wasps here. Get that extra will potion there, and then I'm going to try to grab this. I got pie. I didn't mean to grab the pie, but here we go. And this is the Queen Wasp. We're going to charge up 1 full shot of our bow and wait for the attack to finish. Okay, her positioning is not great, so we didn't get it. There we go. I think. Nope, we missed the HP gate. So, or did we? No, I don't think we did. There we go. So what was supposed to happen there is that first shot that I did would have hit her and immediately sent her into the HP gate where she summons her wasps again, which is what you want. Unfortunately, I just missed it. Okay, I was worried that the game was glitching out because it hung on that cutscene for quite a while. It gets to the HP gate. The wasp has to do that spinny attack again, otherwise you can't damage her. And then normally the game is like, hey, your bow would make a good weapon against that, right? We just use the sword. We use the sword. We don't need the bow. The bow is we don't need it. Fable is kind of silly in points when you sit down and think about it for long enough. But now, we're going to head into our first town, which is Bowerstone South, and we're going to come into our first shopping trip here. All we're going to do is sell all of the health potions that we have, and our resurrection files. So if we die, we die. And buy a shovel, a fishing rod, and a bunch of will potions. We're only going to have 1 extra resurrection file throughout the run, which I'm going to get later on, so it shouldn't be too bad. Don't sell the will potion. Don't do that. Me, what are you doing? Go to buy potions, get 9 of those. Get the fishing rod and the shovel. If you want to save money, there is a place later on where you can get a shovel for free, but I mean, it's right there. May as well just grab it.
Been enjoying all.
I'm going to try to roll here. We're going to talk to the blacksmith here, and remember how I was talking about our bow? We're going to sell it. We're going to sell it right away, and then immediately replace it with a very slightly better bow. And now we're coming into the Heroes Guild because we have a quest that we have to do. And now for the hardest part of the beginning game. And this is where I'm going to explain the combat multiplier, because the combat multiplier is going to play a vital role here and in the combat arena. But I'll explain the combat arena and why it's important for when we get there. So, the combo multiplier is a thing I believe unique to Fable 1. Every time you hit an enemy with melee attack, lightning bolt, whatever, what have you, a little circle in like a little like blue circle with a number in it will pop up, right? Not the experience point right here for Will, but you get what I mean. A little circle with a number in it will pop up, and as you continue to combo off of people, it will increase your multiplier. And that multiplier gives you a flat multiplication bonus of the experience that you gain. And that's going to be very important for this quest here, because we want to reach the ending of it with a minimum of a multiplier of 10. And just for safety, because it is a very hard thing to do, I'm going to grab this Will Master's Elixir in here. The Will Master's Elixir increases our will by 1 point, as if we leveled up our magic power by spending experience on it. So if we really need to, I can save money there by not getting that level up when we do it. And now all we're going to do is head to the main quest location, and I will try to explain what I'm doing when we get to that quest, but I may just have to kind of focus on it because it can be a little bit tricky. Because it's a lot of management of your Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, is there anything on the UI that points to that combat multiplier or helps us see it, or is it kind of more hidden?
It's hidden until like combat starts. I'll point it out when it pops up here. But it should just be like a little blue circle with like a white line around it. You'll notice it right away. I'm gonna draw my bow here. There's gonna be 3 bandits that spawn, and their goal is they want to steal some packages from the orchard farm. We don't want them to do it. There's the combo multiplier just under the health and mana bar. We're going to shoot them with our bow, and oh wow, I just got shot by by the guards. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the help. And so now we have a combat multiplier of 5. By the end of this, we want to get it to about 10 or 11 for a fight that we have coming up. I'm zapping them with the lightning because I want to keep the multiplier alive. These bandits have spawned in, so we're gonna fire off on them with our bow and arrow here. Dodge this guy so that we don't get hit, and if you really don't want the guards to kill them, because if they do, you get no experience. So I'm gonna kill one of these guards now, because we don't need them, and get the experience off.
They're real team players.
Exactly. They're shooting me and reducing my combat multiplier, because if you get hit, it immediately drops down to 5. Which, when we get to some really high values, gets very distressing. Because, like, one of the later segments, we're going to have it up to about 80. And if we get hit once, it goes down to 10.
So...
Okay, so this is why we want a good combat multiplier. Because we are going to use Whisper here to get more of our experience. Unfortunately, mine fell a bit, so it's going to be a little tight, but we might be okay. It's going to really depend on what my level up is.
Do you have any recourse if it falls that far?
If it falls that far, because you spend experience points to buy your skills and such, right? It's kind of like a job system in like Final Fantasy, where you have like the job points to spend on like your skills and all that. If your multiplier falls down, you gain less experience overall, and it's going to make leveling up a bit harder. So you're going to have to be more conservative with what you buy and the things that you do. There's some ways to skirt around it. We're not going to need too much leveling up. I got hit by the wasp there. We're not going to need too much for this first level up, but we need to get at least speed to rank 2, physique minimum to rank 1. Physique boosts our physical damage. speed obviously raises speed, but it also increases the speed of your roll. And then we have to do a bunch of magic leveling, and I'll explain that when we get there. This is a minor skip here. Normally there's a cutscene that happens where this guy is like, hey, pay me a toll with all of your money, and we don't want to see that cutscene, so we give him a good old zap. We introduce him to Zap Brannigan. And so now we're going to roll here into the Greatwood Cullis Gate. And now we are going to teleport back to the Heroes Guild so that we get our... oh. That hob just clocked me in the face.
Well, speaking of your combat multiplier.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I see now.
Yeah, I didn't have a follow-up to that, sorry.
I was like, yes, go on. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Willmaster's Elixir to boost my magic. I should be okay. I'm going to do one physique here.
Speed makes you
Speed 2. I'm going to get all of the required stuff first. Summon is extremely important, so that's the one that we need. We need that rank 2. Get that to rank. And then I think we'll be okay if I get... Yeah, I can get physique 2 and we'll be fine, right? Let me make sure I got all of that right. Yes. Yeah, we're good. So, now for the biggest trick of the run. And normally in the Lost Chapters, if anybody has seen a Fable the Lost Chapters run, there's already a dramatic difference here between that run and this. You might be wondering, like, what are you doing? Why are you coming to the Chamber of Fate? Well, the Chamber of Fate is where the final boss fight happens. And there is, very infamously, a weapon that you get that you can only keep if you take the evil path into the post-game. And you can only get it by beating the final boss. But, if we're lucky here, we can clip into the ground. We got it right away. That's so good. And there it is, the Sword of Aeons. By the way, you might hear me like reaching over. I have a timer going just so I can keep track of where I'm at in terms of timing. So, the Sword of Aeons, kind of infamously in this game, you can only get it when you beat the game, and once you have it, you can't really do anything with it. So it is an endgame weapon, it is the strongest melee weapon in the game, and we have it 20 minutes in.
Seems intended.
Totally intended, right? I'm gonna take that guy out here, and now for another very important trick. So what you just saw is a trick called summon clipping. And the way that summon clipping works is a combination of... There we go, we got the transfer, that's really good. I actually forgot to do something in the Heroes Guild, so I have to go do that really quick. So the way that summon clipping works is, since you can target a, like anything, you can even target your own, like, summon. And in this case, when we start with summon, you start with a wasp, and you clip it into the ground to force its geometry into the area where the Sword of Aeons is default located. And Assassin's Rush, if you're targeting something and cast it, it'll throw you behind where that target, where your target is. So it'll always go to their back. So, like, I'll show an example here. Like, target this hob. Boom, I'm behind him. It also gives you iframes, which is going to be very important for if you don't want to die. But the reason why we needed our summon to kill a hob is because hobs or bandits have the right geometry we need to do some pretty busted summon clipping. The Hornet that we start with isn't large enough to get some of the other summon clips that we need. But for now, some of the other spells the other spell that I got while I was there in that level up is I got Berserk. And Berserk is going to be pretty much how we do a bunch of damage as well as most of our movement in this game. Berserk gives you a flat multiplier to your speed and your physique. So you do an obscene amount of damage, move crazy fast, and very importantly for the escort mission here, everything is scared of you, which is very good because it means that the traders won't follow you down the very dangerous path and potentially die, and the bandits that attack us also will get scared and run away. We're gonna grab our will potion here, and we're gonna roll on in to the Darkwood Marshes. There's going to be something that we do later on in the Darkwood camp to make this go a little bit faster. I hope you all don't get too attached to the traders that we have. That was a Balverine. Those are going to come up a lot later. And now is just kind of a chill time of just going to the next area, just doing the escort quest mostly as intended.
So you mentioned would you call it a remake or just sort of like upconvert of the original? And the routing is pretty different. Can you explain any more of that, like of how the two versions of this game differ?
Yeah,
From a speedrun perspective, I guess.
Yeah, so the Lost Chapters is a re-release, like a revamp re-release of the original Fable, and then there was a remaster of Fable for the 360 Fable Anniversary. The first thing that you do in the game that you can't do in this game is you snap the economy in half. Because in Fable Anniversary, there's an exploit where the way the economy works in Fable is each trader has, what the heck is it? Each trader has like demand, so like they have a bunch of items on them right away, and if they don't have a bunch of those one items, they'll start requesting those. So what you would do is you would loop buying out their cheapest item over and over and over again, and then selling it back to them for a profit. Supply and demand, that's what it is. And you would just do that over and over, because every single time you do that, their value keeps going up, even like as you repeat selling it to them over and over. So by doing that and by abusing a roll, like a frame perfect roll glitch, you can get into an area you're not supposed to be in and immediately buy one of the strongest bows in the game, and you can just bypass the game's difficulty like straight off the bat. But we can't do that in this game. It's only in the remaster and in the original re-release. Why? I don't know. But now you might notice I'm not in Berserk here for, the main reason why is because we want our trader to clear that bend, as you can see on the mini-map that he did just now. If he didn't, he would be scared of us and run back to the beginning, which we really don't want. I'm gonna grab this ruby for extra money just in case, and I actually have plenty of daylight here, which is really good. So, you want him to get past the bend that he was just at, so that way you can actually continue to advance into the quest, because if he stays by the entrance, he will not follow you into the barrow fields here, and you will just have a very awkward staring contest with that guy on the bridge for a little bit. And now we actually have plenty of daylight, so I don't need to get the golden carrot, which is good. We're gonna go into Oakvale, which is our hometown, and now you're going to see why else summon clipping is very broken. But first things first, we need more will potions, because we are going to spend a lot of will throughout this game. Magic is even further broken in the later Fable games because you don't have a magic meter at all. It's only in the original that you do. So we're going to talk to this guy. We're going to sell that ruby that we picked up from that troll. And we're going to buy all of his will potions, and we're going to go talk to Maze, and Maze is going to tell us, in terms of plot, our sister's alive. And she's being held by the bandits that raided our village, which are held by a bandit named Twinblade. And this came in that era of games where every game, every single one, needed to have a very awkward forced stealth segment that's kind of not what the game is meant for, shoveled into it. And Fable's no different, because Fable has has a few unintended stealth segments. One of them we actually have to do legit. But this, no. Normally what they want you to do is you go back to the guild, you get a quest saying, hey, Twinblade's causing trouble, and we know that he has your sister, so break into his camp. And I got that first try. That never happens. Break into his camp, free your sister, and kill him. We don't want to do the stealth segment that attached to it, because you have to hide from bandits that come out. You have to kill them so that more bandits will come out and open the gates to search for you, so that they leave it untended, and you have to sneak in. And then later on, you have to dress as a bandit to get into Twinblade's camp itself, which you do just by getting all the clothes here. All these chests are just bandit clothes. Armor doesn't really do anything in this game. There's like some pieces of clothing that give armor benefits, most of them don't. So this is Twinblade's camp. We're not gonna do... let me go back to the Heroes Guild. We're not gonna do the we're not gonna do the clip into the camp just yet, because we actually need to accept the quest proper. If you accept the quest and then try to recall back to a point that you went into, or the point that you recalled from, you actually can't. The game autosaves and stops you from doing that. So now we're just gonna go back to the Cullis Gate at the Twinblade's camp entrance. Pet all Balverines? Oh, buddy. Balverines are characters. They are something. Alrighty, and so now what we're going to do, we're going to line ourselves up here. I'm going to summon our hob, we're going to target it, and hope. I'm going to try to readjust positioning a tiny bit here. There we go, got it right away. This is the smoothest I have ever had summon clipping go, because something very important to note about summon clipping, it's one of those tricks where you can do everything right and it just will not work. It'll just say no. I got it first try, oh my lord! What is going on? I have literally never seen summon clipping go this well. This is absurd. Normally what's supposed to happen is, like, you get a bunch of money and you, like, buy a ticket to get brought into the elite camp. You have to get a pass to go see Twinblade himself from this gambling person, but, you know, summon clipping. This guy is a little bit too far out, so let's try this. My favorite thing to do is to count how many times the bandit says anything. There we go, we got it. Oh my lord! This is ridiculous! Oh lord, there's gonna be one more summon clip that we do later on that's way easier. The ones in Twinblade's camp are the hardest ones to do, and we got almost all of them, at least on the first try. Like on the second or third try. So this is Twinblade. All we're gonna do is Assassin's Rush behind him and smack him around a little bit until he does this attack, and then 2 hits and the fight's over. Berserk is broken.
I've seen
Berserk is a very broken spell. And now it gives you a moral choice of like, oh, do you kill him? And we're just gonna take the good option, and we're just gonna leave. It doesn't really give us any benefit to kill him. The experience we get isn't very much. We get 10,000 experience base just by completing the quest. And so now, another trick that's going to happen here is seal buffering. So you might have noticed that I was just able to immediately go into the teleportation menu, and that's because if you input your down on the D-pad, which for this game is the seal, it will immediately have it set to full, because it's reading it as you've been holding it the entire time during saves. And it'll let you teleport right away. We're going to talk to this guy here. We're going to buy a handful more will potions. Right off the bat, I now have, I believe, like 70. I have a lot. I have a lot of will potions, and we're only going to get more. And we're going to go talk to Maze. And Maze is going to teach us, or tell us about a place called Not Hole Glade. He's going to tell us about an archaeologist that might know something about some of the ancient heroes of yore. And we're gonna go find him in the Witchwood, I believe. I forgot to do seal buffer there. Whoops. So we're gonna go to the Witchwood Culliscate, and we're just gonna make our way to find the archaeologist. And that's going to be the next and final summon clip, which I think, funnily enough, is the first summon clip ever found. It's nothing but vibes, so feel free to jump in on anything, my man.
Why? So there's a bunch of versions of this game. Why are you running this one, or do you run all of them?
I only run this one just because it's the one that I have. It's the one I have easiest access to because this is a hand-me-down Xbox from my older brother. I have wanted to check out the original, or not the original. I have wanted to check out the anniversary release of Fable. Part of the reason why I'm kind of iffy on it is just because I don't really like how busted the economy exploit is in that game. Like, it doesn't sit with me. I like doing more of like the clipping and stuff and stuff like that. It's a bit more showy and more up my alley when it comes to some of the games that I run. There we go. Of course, that's one of the easiest ones, and that gives me the most trouble.
I wasn't gonna say it, but I knew that was coming.
Yeah, no. Fable's one of those games where it hears you, and it's like, hey, you having an easy time? Well, I got news for you. Alright, so now we're going to do a quick little jog over to Not Hole Glade, which is going to be our next main quest location. And then we're going to teleport back to the guild to get our quest related to it there, as well as do another level up. Normally for that, because what we just clipped into is a demon door, and in terms of the mechanics and like some of the stuff in this game, I have to remember to go into Berserk. Demon doors are kind of like the puzzly element of Fable, where you talk to them and they will give you a task or a puzzle to solve. You solve it and they open. That guy has that particular door that we just clipped into wants you to figure out his name. And the way you do it is by going and hitting a bunch of different stones that are the letters H, I, T, and S. His name is Hits. But, you know, you can be a bit immature. It's fine. The game thinks it's funny.
I mean, that's an unfortunate name kind of either way.
Yeah, exactly. Someone just constructed a door and was like, hit. Not even hit, just hits plural. This game, Fable does have a very dry kind of sense of humor, which is also why I like it. I have a lot of nostalgia for this game in particular. Alright, and now we're coming up to the Balverines. Now we're going to go back to the guild, and we're going to do our next level up. And we're going to get a handful of things. We're going to get Physique up to level 3, and we're going to get 2 new spells, Physical Shield and Multi-Strike. Multi-strike in this version of the game specifically adds to your combo multiplier, so it further boosts the experience that you get. In all other versions of the game, it doesn't. Physical spells, and we're going to get Physical Shield up to rank 2. And Physical Shield is going to become very important when we get to the arena. And the reason why that is because Physical Shield, when used, makes it so that you are completely immune to damage. Any damage that will be done to your health is done to your magic bar in proportion. So it becomes very important to have all of those extra mana potions just so you can keep it up so that you don't take damage and die. But now we're coming into the White Balverine questline. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go Berserk, activate Multi-Strike, and now we can one-shot Balverines. We're just giving them very aggressive pets. Okay, that's bad. I can't do Berserk. I'll just do one swing here. That should do it. Yeah.
The 360 is not doing a ton to uplift this, right? Like, it just looks really good for a game of this era.
It's not, no. It actually, Oh, whoops. Gotcha. It actually, The only thing it does is, since the 360 is, like, native in, HD, like 16:9, it doesn't do anything to upscale it, so quite literally, I think they have it cropped. Yeah, they have it cropped on the stream right now. What I am looking at in my monitor is I have the game dead center in my screen, and then there are two big black bars on the left and right.
Yes.
So that's all I'm seeing right now. But this is the White Balverine segment. With the White Balverine, you can't actually... Oh, wow, he only spawns over here. Noted. You actually can't do any damage to the White Balverine, and it doesn't check for damage, it checks for hits, but they can be hits from anything. So the intent that they want to do is they want to try to use this to teach you about the weapon augment system, where, like, you can... it's kind of like Materia in Final Fantasy VII, where you can slot them in and get certain bonuses or, like, abilities based on what you have put in. But all we're going to do is we're just going to zap them with lightning 5 times because it's faster than just smacking it with your sword, and we can't deal damage to it anyway. And normally they want you to be like, oh, the silver augment, it does extra damage to Balverines and undead, use this. But we have the Sword of Aeons, so we're not too worried about it. I just picked up some red meat because I thought it was going to be a will potion. It was not. And now for why the White Balverine is so difficult. We have to go actually fight it now proper. And the reason why it's hard is because every few hits you do, it will summon 2 more Balverines. And then it will summon 2 more. And it's going to summon a total of 6. And you have to kill the white... You only have to kill the White Balverine. So it is faster just to attack the White Balverine. But oh good lord, is it hectic as heck when you have to go back to Knothole Glade to turn in the quest.
Your health is low. Do you have any potions?
This. I'm gonna go back into Berserk. I'm gonna have to go into Berserk again since the cutscenes take away Berserk. Balverine spawn in. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna put on Physical Shield now.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. We're fine. Oh, that's never happened before.
Your health is low. Do you have any potions?
Okay, so I have to go into Berserk one more time. There we go. One more hit and it's done. There we go. Now I have to get out of here. Okay, we made it. Oh, that was really scary.
Is there a narrator, like, narrating your UI as well?
That's the guild master.
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to say your will energy is low. Watch that constantly. Like he first shows up like as soon as you graduate from the Heroes Guild, so he will be talking all the time. So anytime you hear it, I highly encourage chat to just start spamming "Hero, your will energy is low." Watch that. So now we're going to talk to the village chief here to turn in the White Balverine quest.
So, you're back.
He's going to give us information, and in terms of story, it turns out that our character, our mother, is a once revered hero named, I believe, the Scarlet... It's like the Scarlet Axe or the Scarlet Hood, something like that. And it's just a whole load of lore. Just a lot. But she's a revered hero and is held in high regard in the arena. And in the arena is where Jack of Blades, the main antagonist, scouts people for his cause. So we want to get more info on Jack of Blades, so we're going to have to go to the arena. First things first, one of the most important level ups in this game. We need to get... should be surround. Force push, rank 2. And magic power. Okay, I have magic power as high as I can get it. Okay, so the combat multiplier is going to play a very big part in this segment. And I believe this exploit is also removed from the anniversary edition of Fable and the Lost Chapters. So, there is an exploit with Force Push specifically that, for whatever reason, in the original Fable, any hit on a body that is dead and still spawned in, because over time they will despawn and like fade to dust, any hit that Force Push gets on a body that is still spawned in, it will count as a hit on the multiplier, and it will still give you experience, as if you've hit something. Some of you might be ahead of me with what we're about to do right now. We're about to completely break this game's experience system, like, in two. Normally, you want to have your will energy up to rank 3, but we should be fine. We have plenty of magic potions, and we're going to get more. JD puppy. Usually it's bad to keep beating a dead horse.
I wasn't gonna say it, but thanks, JD.
Fable, specifically OG Fable, is the one exception to that rule. So now we're coming, and we're going to tell them to participate in the in the arena. And now we just have a moment of just chill downtime because we have to wait, I want to say like a minute, 2 minutes or so before we can actually go in. So during that time, we're going to talk to this trader in here. I'm going to buy all of his potions, and just for safety, I'm going to buy 2 resurrection vials. Money is not that much of an object because we're about to get a lot of money here. And now we're just going to be hanging out. This is the perfect time to just chill, vibe, interact with chat. How are you all doing today? How are you doing today, Rad?
I'm great. I'm trying to get over was his name Jack of Blades or Jack of Knives? I've already forgotten.
Jack of Blades.
I can't get over that.
just wait till you see him. He's a character.
Jack of Blades feels like like somebody I'd get an unsolicited DM from and be like, "All right, where's the ban button?
Where's the ban? Where is this?" He's... how do I put this? I want you to imagine one of the edgiest characters you can think of. And then put
yes,
like
I got it. Okay.
and then put like a porcelain mask on their face with like
Okay.
deep red eyes, and then make them a little bit edgier, and that's Jack of Blades. You'll get a good look of him in a bit because we're coming into the end game where he plays more prominent of a role. Isn't he tiny as well? Yes. Jack of Blades is a short king. All
Did
right.
you just say the end game? Because we're not even like close to halfway to your estimate.
Yeah, no, we're almost done. So here we are now doing the arena. These first few rounds are going to be pretty easy. It's just some swings, and then while the bodies are here, I forgot to do something here. Oh, there's one wasp still alive.
You've achieved an excellent.
There we go. That's a very slow animation, but you know. I'll just do the bindings that I have to do in the next round. So, as you can see now, the multiplier is already at 18. Something also important to mention about physical shield, if you get hit, it does not reduce your combat multiplier. We're already at 27. I'm gaining about 600 experience now every time I cast Force Push. A lot more now.
And that's because it's interacting with like the wasps on the ground?
It's treating them like they are still a living body, and it's counting each individual one as a hit. And now for the Hobbs, and anything that leaves a body behind, we can do that exploit on. So we can do it on Hobbs too. So I'm just gonna get around a bunch of them and just start spamming. The next round comes in. I have to be in Berserk to one-shot them, otherwise it doesn't work out. There we go. The Hob wizards are a little annoying because of their AoE spell that they have. That does a hefty amount of damage when hit, as you might remember from when they just hit me in the face before I went back to the guild. But nothing too crazy. This is probably one of the easiest segments of the game of just straight combat. It's literally just straight combat for about 10 minutes.
Okay, talk to me about the proportions of the characters. Is there something... is this just like the art style of the era, or... I feel like that your character in particular has... yeah, there we go. There's just like a bit of extrusion going on from time to time. Even when you were like a kid, it almost felt like they had just taken your current body and like made you 50% tall without changing the proportions.
That's just kind of the art style of Fable. Like, that's just how it is. And then when it comes to this, it's because I'm in Berserk. Berserk, for whatever reason, just stretches you out. And now for the Balverines. These guys need a little bit more strategy because you have to go into Berserk and then you have to use Multi-Strike. Something I also neglected to mention, Multi-Strike bases its damage off of your current physique stat, not what your base one is. So since we get a boost of physique since we're in Berserk, it's going to do multiple Berserk hits in one swing. And this round we have a White Balverine. White Balverine is scary, as you saw earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and use this moment to clear out the normal ones. Go into Berserk again.
And it's still the case that you cannot take damage or you lose that whole multiplier.
Yeah. It'll go back down to rank 10. Once it passes 10, any hit that would take it down to 5 will immediately rank it down to 10. And that's part of the reason why we have the physical shield on, is just so we don't have that happen. Because we really want to keep all the experience that we get here, because it makes leveling up so much safer. Okay, we lost physical shield. Oh, okay. That was a little scary. ideally, you can... Some of the more high-level people, like Sarah Venza, who wrote out this route that I'm using, she is able to effectively, like, chain hit the Balverine so that they're stuck in the traps, and it'll just chain damage together on them over and over and over again. But that's a little finicky, and you need to have a much higher will stat than I have, because you will still get hit by the traps, and they will still damage you. Or your shield, in this case.
Would you say there's like a high skill ceiling to this because there's so much little finessing you're doing throughout the run?
I would say that there's like a decently high ceiling for OG Fable. Anniversary has a bit more depending on the category. Like if you're doing for like 100% or like all quests. There we go. Okay, so that's the last battle right now. Because there's a bit of a higher skill ceiling in Lost Chapters because of all quests and things like that, as well as other categories. And since you can't do, I don't think you can do summon clipping in the Lost Chapters. You have to get a lot more creative with combat, which is why you roll into a section you're not supposed to be in and get the better ranged weapon. But now we're just, in terms of what's going on here, I'm just swinging on some undead. They die in one berserk hit, but that's going to very quickly become not the case. There we go.
3, 2.
Berserk again.
What's this your favorite original Xbox game?
It's up there. There's one other one that I also really, really liked. And it's a completely different game. But something about me that you might have figured out, considering I'm running a fantasy RPG, is I'm a very big fantasy fan. And on the Xbox, I think the PS2, and the GameCube, there was a RPG released called The Lord of the Rings, not the Lost Age, the Third Age. And it's Final Fantasy X as Lord of the Rings. Like, the combat system is exactly the same. But it's all like a Lord of the Rings kind of coat of paint on it, and it's so much fun.
I appreciate that. Like, I could have maybe made 25 guesses and not even been in the right ballpark, so I appreciate that.
About like what the game would have been.
Yeah,
or...
I was gonna go as obscure as like, I don't know, Breakdown, or like, oh, what was the squad-based third-person shooter that everybody thought was gonna take over Halo's spot that let down everyone? It doesn't matter.
What you're saying sounds so familiar. Like, I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember what the heck. I see someone saying Crackdown in chat.
No,
it was not
360.
Crackdown.
Crackdown was the Halo 3 demo that I got my Xbox banned on.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, so, okay, well, if you have time for a story, I have time to tell you one.
You have plenty of time. We're just combat arena. You are all good. You have all the time in the world.
Well, I was in college. I'm dating myself now, but that's fine. And Crackdown, if you bought Crackdown, you got an invite to the Halo 3 beta, right? And Halo 3 is like, I mean, following up Halo 2. Wow, how could they do it? Yeah. Nobody wants Crackdown, even though that turned out to be a fantastic game. But they just want access to Halo 3 beta. Well, me and my, enterprising ways was like, oh, well, I have this Xbox that can do more than play purchase games, and I'll just run my own version of the Halo 3 beta. And Microsoft thought that that would be a great time to close that loophole and then ban all of those consoles.
Rude.
So I had to acquire another Xbox 360 that weekend. But,
Jeez.
yeah, I remember Crackdown.
If it makes you feel any better in terms of aging yourself, I still remember, I think it was Just Cause 2 got you access to the Halo 3 ODST map pack that made it so that you could get the Recon skin. I think that was it. And that was like one of the last times that I remember like really sitting down and seriously playing a Halo game.
Yeah, ODST was great.
ODST was the GOAT.
I know it's easy. Everybody says it's the sci-fi one. It's like the noir-ish one, but it is. I mean, it has a vibe to it that's really good.
My favorite is Reach, though. Reach will always be my favorite.
They kind of blur together to me, you know? Like, I can't...
Yeah, I get what you mean.
But yeah, I don't think I've played one. I love 4. The only one I fell off of was 5.
I still haven't tried 5. I've never finished 4. But I got pretty deep in. By the way, combo multiplier is at 85 right now.
Respectable.
Very respectable. We're coming very close to the end here of the combat section. So all I'm doing here is just meleeing and dodging to get iframes from that big AoE attack they do. I do need to go back into... Okay, it's a good thing. Okay, yeah, now I'm getting bullied. I'm getting quite a bit bullied. Oh. I just need to get Berserk off. Okay, there we go. There's one other very hidden thing about Berserk that is very useful right now. Berserk makes it so that you can't go under 1 HP. Which, oh thank Lord for that. I got distracted talking about Halo, which that was great. That was just nostalgia, and that felt great. But wow, that was very scary.
Yeah, how's that combat multiplier?
We're at 18. We're at 18.
Double digits.
We got plenty of experience, so we should be fine. At this point now, like no other bodies spawn for us to do the exploit on, but we should be totally fine. Oh Lord. So you've seen us fight all of like the normal enemies from the game, but now I bet you're not ready for this. A giant scorpion. Because we gotta have some big insect boss in here somewhere.
I don't like this.
I also don't like this. It burrows into the ground and then summons more. They're all extremely weak. So, like, it's not that bad.
The shape is just menacing.
And yeah, exactly. It's just so full of menace and harm. By the way, you might hear the crowd every now and then screaming, "Come on, chicken chaser." That's me they're talking about. You can't name your character anything in Fable. You can only give them, like, titles or nicknames. And the default one you're given in every game is Chicken Chaser. And he's dead. There we go.
I can't think of any stream-appropriate nicknames for Chicken Chaser, so I'm gonna let you continue.
You know, that's fair. Alright, now we have one more fight to do, which leads us to our next big moral choice, which we're just going to take the good option for because it's faster. We have one more fight to do, and this is the easiest round of the arena. We have to fight, because you might have noticed Whisper's here, we have to fight Whisper. So we're just gonna go into Berserk.
You've improved since training.
That's behind her. And just go off. And that's it. The fight's over. And the moral choice is you can either kill her or leave. We're just... Nope, that's the... Nope, is this the right way? Nope, I went the wrong way. Or did I? I don't know. I think I went the wrong way. Nope, I didn't. Okay. I have... There's supposed to be like a floating bag of money, for whatever reason, just above the gate. That'll only come down if you kill Whisper. But I didn't see it there, so I thought I went the wrong way. But we are all good. So now, what we're gonna do, now that we've finished the arena, we're gonna get told that our sister wants to go see us. So, we are officially now done with the hardest part of the run. Hooray for us. We're gonna teleport to Barrow Fields. This is gonna be a central point for a lot of like some of the roaming around that we have to do. And we have to go talk to our sister. She's gonna tell us some huge plot development. Because one of the things that the game made actively sure to mention, because remember how I brought up that our mom was a legendary hero? She's actually still alive. And she's being kept in prison by Jack of Blades. So we have to go save her. And the only person that knows how to get there is the archaeologist that we found earlier, who sold our mom out. So...
That jerk.
Exactly. But of course, we can't just go straight there. As we all know, you have to learn about things in their proper location. So... you have to go back to the Heroes Guild, and you have to do this with every quest, you might have noticed. Get this yellow golden circle quest that says, hey, the archaeologist needs help. So now we're going to go help the archaeologist after we level up. As you can see, I have quite a lot of experience. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to do all of my will stuff. Actually, no, I'm going to do all of these first because this is going to spend general experience.
I love that your skill is like just ignored.
Yeah. It's about to get... Yeah, I just consumed all of it immediately. We want to get speed to rank 7. There we go. And then accuracy to a minimum of 5.
Damage in ranged combat. And make your shots
Do that there. And now for will, what we're going to get most of our experience. Physical spells, we're going to rank up physical shield once. Berserk to rank 3. Assassin's Rush to rank 4. I think, yeah. Multi-arrow to rank 4. That's the thing that's kind of weird to me about multi-arrow, is that for whatever reason, because multi-strike is considered an attack spell, multi-arrow is considered a a physical spell. I don't understand why. And then I'm gonna level up multi-strike just once there. And now you can see we have no health, but oh lord, our magic. We're very magical. We're just a very magical person.
You're positively glowing.
Exactly. We got quite strong.
Brute Force was the game I was thinking of, by the way.
That's a name for a game.
Mm-hmm.
That is certainly a name.
I did not just scroll the entire list of Xbox games on Wikipedia 3 times to find that. Don't worry about it.
Hold on, what's the silliest name for a game that's on there? Now I'm just curious.
All right, well, we'll go for a 4th time. I'll report back.
I still remember like that era of like PS3 Xbox games where they were all just trying to have like really intense sounding names, or they were all like abbreviations. Like, does anyone remember MAG? Which stands for Massive Action Game.
Oh, the PS2 game.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Was that a PS2 game? I thought it was a PS3.
Or yes.
It's
It was like a
PlayStation game.
SOCOM like sequel-ish thing. Yes.
Kind of, yeah. It was trying to be like it had a multiplayer server like cap of I want to say like 150. Like it was super high for the time. And it was all like team deathmatch and stuff like that. All right. Now we have to go and rescue the archaeologist because the archaeologist is the only person that knows where Jack of Blades is, and Jack of Blades is not a fan of that. So naturally, he's just like, hey, could you not reveal where I'm at, please? And is now kidnapping him. So we're just gonna dash past all of these hyenas, I guess? I'm not sure what these are, but I'm pretty confident they're hyenas. And there's going to be one that we have to kill in just a moment, which is this mage here, because it's providing a barrier that's, it's making a barrier that makes it impossible for us to leave. And we would like to as quickly as possible. So we're just gonna Assassin's Rush all around. There we go. I just noticed that my physical shield is gone. Because I went into Bowerstone, that's why. Bowerstone, the reason why my physical shield is gone is because Bowerstone, you're not allowed to have weapons out or cast any spells at all. And the game just hard blocks you from doing that. I didn't want to fart. Why did I do that? That's a sentence that I said. We're gonna dash up to this guy here, take him down. And we're in. Alright, we are in about the last third of the game, by the way, folks. We are almost done.
Hurry, they've almost reached the boat. You're running out of time.
Would you like some exotic Xbox names?
Yes, please.
How about Drake of the 99 Dragons?
Oh my lord. I haven't played that game, but I know that game. That game is awful.
I'm not gonna make any judgments against these games. These are just name values only.
That's fair. Drake of the 99 Dragons, it's a very silly name, but I kind of have a soft spot for it as a name. The actual game itself, not so much. It's a very buggy, broken mess. What else you got? Throw them at me.
Alright, we got Egg Mania, Eggstream Madness.
That's a lot of eggs.
We got Circus Maximus, Chariot Wars.
Circus Maximus?
You forgot the Chariot Wars part, yeah.
The most important part. How could I forget?
Yeah.
All we're doing now is we're just heading to the next major segment of main quest. So, if you want to keep them coming, keep them coming.
Okay, I'll give you one more, then I have a question. So our last for the entry right now will be Double Steal, but Steal is like an acronym, or so it's double dash STEAL dash the second clash, which is apparently only released in Japan, but only it supported the English language.
Double Steal, the second clash.
The second clash.
They
I want you to guess the genre. What genre is this game? What is this game about?
I'm saying it's a mech fighter. I'm calling it.
Okay. It's a racing game, actually.
What?
It's a sequel to Reckless, the Yakuza missions, if you're familiar with that game.
Oh, I love Yakuza. Yakuza is like one of my favorite games. I run Kiwami.
Okay, well, Reckless was like a early Xbox game that has nothing to do with the Yakuza game series, I think. But it was like a racing game that sort of had like mission-based format. It was very it leaned very heavily into showing off just like graphical fidelity of what they could do at the time. I remember my friend Chris and I were just like blown away with what it could do with its visual filters and, you know, wreckage on screen. So
Gotcha. You said you had a question?
yeah, so I think sometimes from the outside, speedrunning can kind of come off as really, really difficult. Like, unless you're willing to invest just hundreds of hours and grind, you know, relentlessly, you can't achieve these times. But I think the more I've gotten into it and met people in the pursuit or the pastime, so to speak, there's a much wider palette of people. Like, some people just like specific kind of runs, like 100% runs or glitchless runs. Some people are satisfied shooting for, like, you know, the middle of the leaderboard. How would you describe sort of what motivates you to run and what you're satisfied with?
For me, it largely depends on the game, honestly. There are some games where I really enjoy and I want to push to like the limit that they could be. At least that I'm capable of taking them, and then there are some where I'm just like I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm currently stuck on a Revenant. That's not great. I believe Puppy mentioned it in an interview that I did for Furs last year. I ran a lot of games, like an obscene amount. But I'm only really like seriously committed to like a handful. But I'm just kind of here to enjoy it and have a good time. And if I find a game that I really want to push really far, then I'll push it. And if not, it's just a game that I do maybe like a run or two of, I'm happy with it. I'm more just kind of here to have a good time, as opposed to just get a top time.
It's more like golf. You're just kind of playing against yourself until you're like, I've met what I want, and it's not as relevant like what the leaderboard looks like.
Yeah, exactly. I still keep up with like some communities just so I can see like top times, because I like to see games push to like their limit. I came from the Kingdom Hearts community originally, and I still remember when Violin first came onto the scene and started pushing original Kingdom Hearts down so far. It was unreal to be there for. Anyway, now we're going to prison.
Shoutouts to prison.
Shoutouts to prison. So, quick explanation, quick plot rundown of what just happened. Oh, I didn't want to do that. We find out that the way to get to the prison where our mom is through a graveyard. Why? Good question. Fantasy things, am I right? And to do that, we need to open a demon door that will only open once we gather the armor parts of a deceased hero that's buried in the graveyard. I believe his name was Nastor. And he needs his armor, his helmet, his sword, and shield. And someone caught it in there and said speed fishing. That is the only segment of that is the only segment of fishing that we have to do in the speedrun, which is good, because the Fable fishing minigame is just red light, green light, and it's very annoying. And if you're doing 100%, there's a quest line where you have to catch a super big fish, and you just have to do it over and over again until you get the fish that you need. I flipped into that wall for a second.
Would you say the hero's name was?
Nastor, like Nastor.
Yeah, didn't Metallica sue them? That's a Napster joke, folks. I'll just continue to date myself.
I'm gonna borrow a joke from Nakey Jakey here. Imagine if you ever used LimeWire to download an MP3 of a song, but actually it was mislabeled as Sandstorm by Darude with the labels mixed up and the name put in parentheses. I just have one question for you. You wouldn't download a car, would you? Oh man, I still remember those ads. No, you know what ad I remember seeing in movie theaters all the time though? Did you ever see the original Gears of War ad? Like the Mad World one?
Yes. Yes.
That one's just like, that's just a good ad, just in general.
One of my friends in college gave me the MP3 to that like cover.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd never heard of it anywhere other than that single interaction with a single person. And when it showed up in that ad, it like ruined the ad for me because it's just like, wait, I know that song, I know that cover. You can't use this.
How dare you? I had never heard that version of the song until that ad came out. By the way, we have like 3.5 minutes, almost 4 minutes now of just vibes. This is the segment where it being in French would be faster. This guy's going to monologue at us quite a lot. This guy's going to monologue at us quite a lot. And then the guard is going to monologue at us again. In French, this segment is about 3 minutes overall. Other than that, we're just hanging out in our underwear. Just a bald guy in their underwear.
And lightning round.
Lightning round. Let's go.
Why do you not have this run submitted on speedrunner.com?
Because the first full run that I did, I mistimed when to end the timer, and they wouldn't accept it otherwise. So I was like, you know what? I'll just use it as like a submission, and then I'll go from there.
So this is kind of new for you then? Like,
yeah,
this is one of the newer games. Okay, cool.
This is one of the newer games that I run. I learned it last year. I picked it up again a few months ago. But other thing about this run is to get your actual in-game time, because you have to submit both in-game and RTA, you have to look at your personality gauge, because it has a timer in there for how long you've been playing the game, and I forgot to do that on my 1:58 time. So my RTA PB is an hour 58. My in-game time is an hour 45. So there's like a 15-minute difference between the two. There's just going to be a race that comes up where we can't use magic. I can't use any magic or any abilities, so I'm just going to be rolling. So any other questions or anything like that you have, like, fire off. We're all good.
Okay. 5 years ago, you submitted a 22-minute time for 16 star.
Mm-hmm.
What context was that done in? Were you like, I'm just going to learn this for a week, run it, and move on? Or, like, what? Give me your, like, what was that period of time spent with Mario 64?
So, I'm not gonna get into too deep of personal details, just because that was that was not a high point of where I was at personally.
Fair.
But I had fallen out of speedrunning and streaming for a while, just because of I was so stressed out and focused on college. A lot of personal stuff was happening at the time, and I wanted to find a way to kind of still enjoy myself, but kind of do it in a way that I could do it in very short form, I guess. I was looking for very short runs, because most of the runs that I do are multi-hours.
Yeah,
like,
I can see that.
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts, 2.5 hours, Fable, 2 hours about. Kingdom Hearts 3,
Kiwami's almost 3 hours, yeah.
Yeah, quite a lot. And I picked up 16 star because I had seen they haven't done this in a well, they've kind of done it now because they have a show about it. GDQ, like around that time, I remember it was Spike, Vegeta, and I want to say Darkman did a tutorial on how to do Mario 16 star, and it was a beginner friendly route that you didn't have to learn a whole bunch of crazy glitches to do. And that just kind of seemed to fit. I did one run of it that was about an hour. And over time, I just grinded it down and I started incorporating some of the other tricks that I wanted to learn, some of the more flashy movement, and I just went from there. And that got to the 22-minute time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, bigger communities like that, I think, can give you a very different experience of speedrunning. Like, if you pick up a small game community, you're going to learn from just a handful of people. You can kind of bounce ideas off each other, but you always got that risk of, like, you're completely missing something, right? Like, somebody could just come in and find an exploit, and then everything breaks open again.
Yeah.
Where at the other end of the spectrum, you have a game like Mario 64. I've experienced this recently with Mario Brothers Wonder, where you're in it for the experience. You're very likely not going to be competing for like top 10% times. And so it's just like you can kind of be anonymous. Like, I'm just going to take this as far as I can, and it doesn't matter how well I do. I'm still going to just be one of the names on the board, and that's a very different experience with speedrunning than being in a small community.
Fun little bit of TP lore. Mario 64 was the first game I ever did for a marathon.
Nice. What marathon?
It was Valuethon. It was a marathon that Boyk's put on for a while. Sadly discontinued now, but I loved that marathon. It was a lot of fun. Later on went back there and did Kingdom Hearts 2. And yeah, it was just a good time. It was my first marathon and I didn't know what to do. I was nervous. I remember I had all of my friends sitting behind me on my bed because I didn't have like a chair or a couch for them to sit on. And they all knew nothing about what I was doing.
You had a little cheering squad.
Exactly. It was a great time.
Was that also 16 star?
That was also 16 star, yeah. I've thought about going back to Mario 64, but honestly, some of the tricks are getting kind of killer on my hands, and I don't really have much interest in doing like 70 star or anything like that.
Yeah, that's kind of to what I was speaking to earlier. In a smaller community, tricks will be discovered and people will kind of agree, like, this is ridiculous. Nobody's going to do this, and you can get away with that. You move to a larger community, and those tricks are like boilerplate. Like,
Yeah.
That's what you have to do to compete. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
It's still wild, like when really random tricks or glitches get discovered in games. Like, the Pokemon, especially like the older Pokemon games, their community is kind of going through that right now with all of, like the really big Gen 3 discoveries. And that's been really exciting to watch because now it means that they're gonna get faster and faster.
Yeah, it's always it's an interesting balance because when new tricks are discovered, you've got like a group of people who just want to immediately push the times lower. But then you've got a whole group of people who also like, it's like their whole investment has been into a route that essentially like doesn't exist anymore. Like,
Yeah,
overnight.
exactly.
And that's where I think you get a lot of category splits so that you can sort of try to maintain the official existence of those previous routes in some way.
Yeah, it's its own form of preservation.
Yeah. Has anything like what we've been talking about ever happened to, I guess you don't know, like for the Fable community, you haven't been in it forever, but I mean, do you know of anything that this game went through in that respect?
The biggest thing is just the split from OG to the Lost Chapters. Because not a lot of people run the original game. A lot of people run Lost Chapters. And when everybody figured out how to properly route the economy, and as well as the glitch to get into. I'm trying to remember like how to describe it. So the area that I went into to go rescue the archaeologist, Bowerstone North, like the area where I bought the bow and like my last stack of will potions. In the lost chapters, you can get into that area immediately by doing an exploit with rolling and some frame perfect pauses. It's like some Majora's Mask type beat kind of thing of rolling out of the clock tower while to avoid triggering the cutscene. But that's only doable in the lost chapters, I think. Like Anniversary can do it, Lost Chapters can do it, OG can't. And when that happened, that had to have been huge. I'm only like speculating because I haven't been part of Fable as a community for very, very long.
Right.
But that rubs me as one of those things that's like, if you find that out, it's just a gold mine. Like, what do you do? The biggest thing that we've had in terms of Kingdom Hearts is when they brought the PC port over, you can finally skip the intro cutscene and avoid a copyright strike. We're making the escape from the prison. In terms of like the run, we're making the escape from the prison now, and we're going to have our next actual proper boss fight, because we only had like 2 so far. And we're going to fight the Kraken, and we're going to see some new spells that I got. We're nearly done, by the way. It's quite literally, we're escaping the prison, we're going to an area called the Hook Coast, and then it's just movement and enemy RNG the rest of the time. So, to actually damage the Kraken, we have to destroy the tentacles here, which multi-arrow makes it much easier to do. So we're just gonna shoot them a handful of times. I just shot my mom on accident. That's a sentence. That is definitely
No comment,
a sentence.
yeah.
That is one of the sentences of all time. I just put my bow away for whatever reason. And now the actual Kraken himself is going to appear. We're going to target it. A full power bow shot. There we go. We hit the first damage gate, which is about halfway there. You want to go back. There's no way we can skip damage gates as far as I am aware. And now all we're going to do is take out the tentacles once again. As soon as I can remember to actually put on multi-arrow. It's slower to hit them with the sword, but they're getting close to hitting me anyway, so I'm just gonna do it, just because they're right there. Oh, well. That was weird, he just decided he didn't want to be hit. Target the Kraken. I still have that active. There we go. That's the Kraken. So we might be a little bit behind on coming out of here, but that's fine. The reason why I'm saying that is because I'm looking at the time right now. Currently, back to back, like from Twilight to up here, I've had most of the whole way down. So I've had about 4 now. This one is the only one that I've lost so far.
Yeah. The Kraken didn't like it was cooperating much.
No, it was getting me a little bit of trouble.
Check the
Airfields. Yes, okay. This this is always one of the segments in the beginning where I always kind of hunt them because it's one of the times that you don't have to go to the guild to continue the main quest. So what you have to do is you go to the ancient gate, which is an area in the dark wood. So we're gonna make our way there to get to the next area. Okay.
What would a live event be without some technical difficulties, right? That's how you know this isn't pre-recorded. You know what I mean? How's everybody doing? Enjoying the Fable run? I am. This is really my first like deep dive into seeing the meat of this game, which is unveiling a lot. Ruffy, that's not what I meant, but that's fine. You know what is fine? I think our audio. I think we're good to go. Give me 1 second.
Alrighty. Sorry about that, folks. We'll start up again. I'll give a countdown for when we'll start up. So in 3, 2, 1, go. So now all we're doing is we're heading to the Hook Coast. We're pretty much near the end of the game. Like, we're gonna be done in about like less than 20 minutes, I want to say. It's pretty close. But now that we're here, all we have to do is we have to charge up the Cullis Gate, and we're going to do that by killing some undead. We're taking the undead, we're making them dead again. Re-deads, if you will, but not like the Zelda ones. There we go. Also not the first time I've had tech issues on a marathon. Or not a marathon, but in any event.
Mini marathon.
Mini marathon.
Mini-thon.
The worst I've had is I was doing a run of Kingdom Hearts for Power Up with Pride, and my computer hard crashed. And that was an experience.
You get that extreme embarrassment for like 90 seconds. And then it's like back to normal.
Exactly. It's like,
yep.
oh. weapon away. So now all we have to do is the game wants us to go and verify something's up at the Hook Coast, make sure everything's fine, and then we're gonna see. Ooh, there's a spooky red door. Is creepy. Is the spooky. But now we have to go back to the guild, not Litchfield Graveyard. We want to go here. You actually don't get a quest marker for this at all. You just have to know that you go back. I believe in your cutscene. In the cutscene, your mom is like, "Oh, return to the guild. We have to talk about this." You go back to the guild, and now we're gonna get some audio from our mother.
Are you in your way? Something isn't right here. What? No! No!
Sounds like something happened. So let's go to Maze's room and figure out what's going on.
This is the person that liked to get shot by lightning and arrows, right?
Yeah, Maze is the dude that's definitely not a traitor.
Yeah.
Definitely a good guy.
Very
Totally
stable individual.
very friendly man. The dude that brought us to the Heroes Guild. Totally fine. Anyway, we found a journal that's like, "Hey, I've been helping Jack of Blades this whole time. Who'd have thought?"
This is terrible.
So now, Jack has kidnapped our mom.
If I read...
And we have to go to the Hook Coast to save her, because he is trying to set a ritual so that he can get the Sword of Aeons, which, hey, we have. I don't know why he's trying to get our sword without talking to us. If he just asked nicely, you know, maybe just hand it over, but c'est la vie. There is another summon clip you could do here.
Get out of here! It's after us!
There is a summon clip you can do here to get immediately into where you need to be, which is into this like that door that we saw earlier. It wouldn't let me swing on the Banshee. That was weird. Or alternatively, we just kill the 3 Banshees that spawn here and we call it a day. It's just a multi-strike in Berserk and then 1 regular Berserk swing and they're done. It's not that big of a deal. I got evil karma because I slapped something I shouldn't have slapped.
You know, it's working.
If it works, it works. There we go. We're gonna go over here. I'm gonna get stuck on a rock. And we're gonna hear chanting from nobody in there. I think it's actually the guild master that's doing it. Anyway, I just clipped inside now, just for fun. We can just hang out here. Just vibe.
What, okay.
Yeah,
it's like, kind of like an auto-scroller section.
Kind of. You're just waiting for the guildmaster to finish a ritual. So to remove the door, and then the game will be like, "Oh, now you can go in," and the thing will happen. And now this is Maze. Definitely not a bad guy. Totally not. Although, probably a bad guy now. He activates Magic Shield, so now we just have to whittle it down. I am aware that my health is critical. Thank you for telling me, though. Oh.
Your health is low. You have any potions?
Where is he? There he is.
You think that's gonna harm me?
Okay. So now we just have to get him to a bunch of different HP health gates. So that he teleports and moves around, so that he can move on to his next segment. And we want to try to hit him before he gets his shield up, so that way we can go on to his next segment. So now he's going to be on top of this lighthouse here. We actually can't... It's actually faster if you just break down that door. Casually. We're going to go into Berserk, go into Multi-Strike. Okay, good RNG, he's right here. He can either be on this floor of the lighthouse, or he can be on the top. And if he's on the top, we're sad. But now, we can walk onto him from here, allegedly. Nope. Okay. In the notes it says you can shoot him from the top of the lighthouse. I've never been able to get it, so I'm just gonna... Why did I put away my sword? We're gonna challenge him to some fisticuffs. You know?
That's a uniquely speedrun experience, like speedrunner experience of like, it says the notes say to do X, and I just can't figure out how to do it at all. So I've developed another way to do it.
Yeah, no, I've had that a number of times with a bunch of different games that I run. But now we're coming in to the final segment of the game. So we're gonna go back to the Heroes Guild. What's unfortunate is with the pause, this would have, after the pause, while we were on the way, this was going to be a PB. This was going to be probably a big PB, because we have about like 5 minutes left of the run, or so. But yeah, it's fine. I'm just happy I got to show this off. It's a PB in our hearts. That's that's right. So now, it's literally just movement and whatchamacallit, movement and enemy RNG from this point on. There's this character that we've never met before, who's another very legendary hero. Definitely, just have to remember. The thing that's kind of unfortunate about Fable in terms of the story is a lot of people eventually just kind of show up, and it's supposed to be like, oh, we know who this is. And you have no idea. you have literally no clue. But the Lost Chapters adds more plot to it to flesh it out more and actually explain who everybody is and introduce you. But yeah, you know, we're speedrunners. We don't really care for plot. We're here for the game. We're here to go fast.
Does it kind of feel like this version was like rushed out and the Lost Chapters were like, okay, now we get a chance to finish it? Or
if I remember right, Microsoft, because the original devs were Lionhead Studios, now no longer around, sadly. Microsoft kind of put them on a timetable to be like, hey, it's got to be done now. You got to finish it. And they ended up having to cut most of what they wanted to put in, and the Lost Chapters was them finally adding that back. So that way they could finally release the game that they wanted to do.
Cool.
Yeah. This is a cave that we walked right by and didn't explore. We're also going to meet, for like the third time, Thunder, who is Whisper's brother. And he's just going to be like, well, I don't like you, you old so-and-so, but we're in this together. And then we run into this chamber, and then that's it. What's intended is it's supposed to be like a big epic fight to like get to each Kuliscape, as enemies endlessly spawn, but you just run straight in and you're done. You're already there. So we're just gonna keep moving through here, dodging as many enemies as possible. There we go. And we're gonna be going into the Jack of Blades fight, like right after this segment.
My man.
Your man. You finally get to see what he looks like.
I've heard he is tiny.
He is pretty short, but then he gets very large. Like quite literally, like you thought our character like growing older and just kind of stretching the model out was ridiculous. Oh boy, you ain't seen nothing yet.
I'm very excited.
Also, this is just something random that I found while I was waiting. So it spawns you in here to this room, and you can see the guild's on fire. If you turn around, there's a health potion. Just on the floor.
Convenient.
I never knew about that. Also, the guild master is dead. Don't worry though, he's still gonna talk to us and tell us that our magic's low.
You thought you could escape, not in death.
Exactly. And now we're coming into the Jack of Blades fight. This is the easiest boss in the game. The first round is going to be us. The game wants us to just kill his minions. We're going to go into Berserk. I lost Physical Shield. Put that on real quick. There we go. I'm going to activate Multi-Strike. Smack Jack. Ooh, he almost killed me. And phase 1's over. There he is. And now he's big McLarge huge. And he's going to summon these pillars that you have to hide behind to dodge his magic attacks normally, but remember, we have the power of Physical Shield. And now we're just going to shoot him with a couple multi-arrows. Lost one.
Very convenient that he just doesn't move.
Yeah, exactly. And one more shot should do it, and he's dead. We died at the same time. I don't know what's about to happen. Okay, no, we're good. So timing is going to be not here, but when I skip this cutscene. Whoops. Can I throw it in? There we go. That's time.
The heroes triumphed.
I have never seen the game do that.
Albion was freed from the dark shadows.
I didn't bother checking the in-game time just because this wouldn't have been accepted anyway, but it's totally fine.
That's a killer RTA time.
It is a pretty killer RTA time. That's an 11-minute best time for me in terms of on the stream here. Ooh. That is very, very good, though. And that was Fable. Huge thank you for letting me show this game off. More people should play it. More people should watch it. It's good. It's a classic for a reason. Just get the game and play it, please. And thank you again to Fastest First for having me, and thanks again to Radicoon for being a great host and a great time.
Aw. Well, thank you for bringing Fable. Thank you for running in the showcase today. I'm going to just call out Ruffy because apparently Ruffy's played a lot of Fable, and maybe they should consider running it. I'm just saying. I'll just say it in front of some people. Let's go, Ruffy. Yeah, so this is only the first of 2 showcases in these 2 weeks. We have another on December 2nd. Am I making that up? Nope, that sounds right to me. 1 p.m. Eastern. We have a quad. We have 4 runs. I'm not gonna try to make that up on the fly. 4 runs, about an hour apart each. That from 4 runners that have submitted before that you may have seen in the Fall Fest. We've got Duo running Alyssa, ending A. We have Fiendly running Spider, any percent. I don't know what that is, but it's really funny to imagine what it is. We have Chow Time running Resident Evil Village, Shadow of Rose, any percent, and Zelo running Ultimate Doom on UV speed, which I think is ultraviolet, but UV also funny to imagine what that might mean. Yeah, next weekend. Thank you, Look, I appreciate that.
Everyone be hyped for next week.
Yeah, these are all good runs, all good runners, and yeah, your support would mean a lot to them, but also it's just a great time. And if you ever want to submit for a showcase, like once we get back into the normal swing of things, we do try to do at least a monthly showcase, which could be anything. I mean, we've run a couple runs that are unrelated. We've done like an all-day Tunic showcase in the past. You never know. If you're interested in participating in a future showcase, we do have a ! Showcase command, which looks like JD just helpfully put in the chat. Thank you, JD. If you're a passionate member of a speedrun community and you want to show off something, fill that out. We'd love to hear from you and get you scheduled for something in the future.